Hello, senor. I am the Frito Bandido. Oh, don't be afraid. I am not going to steal your Fritos corn chips. I buy them from you, okay? See, I give you silver. No silver? Okay, I give you gold. You don't like gold neither? Hey, maybe you like better some lead, huh?
Citizens, protect yourselves. Never buy one bag of crunchy Fritos corn chips. Always buy two. And hide one for you. Who knows? There may be a Frito Bandito in your house.
Bienvenidos. Welcome to the Pablo verse.
Again.
We're back in it. I've been studying Portuguese.
Well, that's good because you may need to leave this motherfucker because it is, in fact, potentially the start of Civil War 2.0.
Prazer em conocer.
Yeah.
Apocaliptos.
The sad part is I don't even have a fucking passport, but I
mean,
you
need to get that shit.
Well, to be honest, man, look, bro, I'm gonna get drafted anyway, most likely by whatever fucking faction that we decide to side with. But
how would you draft dodge?
I don't want to draft dodge.
But if you had to,
if I had to, I'd probably. Well, normally you'd be like most people would chicken out and be like, I'm going to Canada, but fuck Canada. Like, that place sucks.
Yeah, you might as well just lose.
I don't do cold, bro. Like, cold's not my thing. Like, bro, when it got 26 degrees here, I was like, fuck this. Like, I didn't even want to go outside. Like, now, granted, this is a wet cold versus a dry cold, but still, fuck Canada. Like that place sucks. You can't even own guns over there, so that's pretty gay. But then, then you would say, okay, I'm going to go to Mexico. But Mexico is literally kind of the start or the reason of Civil War 2.0.
This is true.
So Mexico is kind of a cop-out. I don't really want to go to Europe because why? Dude, I'm fucking spoiled, bro. Like, I'm American. Like, I like this place a lot. I'd probably just stay here, and if I get drafted, whatever. I mean, like, what the fuck are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? But... Or I could just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to watch out for me and mine, and that's how it's going to go. But anyway, the whole thing is like, so Civil War 2.0 is starting, and I know, like, I'm not advocating anything here, so let's just get that right. Like, in case we're commenting against.
Yeah. Just let God sort them out. That's my political stance.
So all this shit started, with the whole immigration crisis. It's like we have all these people flooding over the borders and shit. They've been sending them to northern states, bussing them. They're having a hard time paying for all these fucking people. Texas is having a hard time paying for all these people. So Texas said, so if the Customs and Border Patrol isn't going to do their job, we're going to make it a state law that says that it's illegal to cross into Texas as an illegal immigrant, pretty much.
Okay.
And so that allowed Texas law enforcement to start doing something about it, like actually arresting people. And then I think shortly after that, Greg Abbott, the governor, deployed the Texas National Guard armed to the border and razor wired most of the entry and exit points, or entry points, let's be real. No one's exiting.
Yeah. Yep.
So they razor wired all the entry points and shit along the Rio Grande and placed fucking armed Texas National Guard there and essentially kicked Customs and Border Patrol out. So then Customs and Border Patrol says, we're going to take your wire down. Texas says, go fuck yourself. Come and get it. And so then the Supreme Court steps in and they say Customs and Border Patrol, the feds essentially have the authority to take down the razor wire
because it's their servitude or whatever. It's
it's their jurisdiction.
Like if you have a yard and then the ditches in your yard, but it's not really your yard. That's servitude.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
And so Texas' response to that was they doubled the amount of razor wire and said, "Go fuck yourself again. Come and get it." So I think the deadline was supposed to be today for them, or it could have been yesterday, but I think it was today for them to do something about it. And I don't think they have. However, there's people in Congress and Senate and shit that are talking that Joe Biden should federalize the Texas National Guard and take control of it.
Okay.
So you see where I'm going with this, right? So it's not right now. There's a handful of ways this can go. Okay, and hear me out here. So, option A: Joe Biden does nothing. Texas gets to do what they want, which is try and control the border. And Joe Biden looks weak like he already is. And the federal government looks weak like they can't enforce their own policies. And it's not good for them because it's an election year. Right? Yeah. That's option A. Option B is Joe Biden does decide to federalize the Texas National Guard, which now shows that he's prioritizing the flow of illegal immigrants over the rule of law. And he
sets a precedent that you could do shit like that.
Yeah, and he potentially starts a civil war.
Is there any other time that they federalized National Guard?
I think so, maybe. But I mean, you're talking Civil War.
I know, but it's
like Civil War 1.0.
This entire dialectic is leading to a solution. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this little disagreement is causing just enough chaos for them to bring in new shit.
All solutions, but maybe one or two lead to fucking armed conflict between state and federal forces, which is not good.
Yeah, unless that, like, you would like that to happen just so you can make new precedents.
No doubt. But the thing is, dude, like, look, like, let's be real here. Like, everybody, like, a lot of people romanticize, you know, what it would be like to do shit like that. And you know, maybe deep down inside, like, somewhere, it's just like, yeah, that does sound cool. But at the same time, it's totally not. Like, there's way too many fucking armed people and firearms in this country for this to end well for anyone.
Don't do violence, guys.
Yeah, like, Americans,
don't
like,
do
dude,
violence.
like, don't Americans have the fucking, like the, there's a word for this, we pretty much hold the market cap on violence for the world. Like, we do it really well. You know, and I mean, even like our money is violent. Like when we throw money at things, it gets violent. So, I mean, like, we pretty much hold the market share on violence, you know? And so
I just pictured, like, I forget who it was, like Birdman or some rapper, when he got hit in the face with a wad of ones. And he had he took the money and threw it back in the guy's face. Anyway, our money is violent, yes.
I mean, but here's the deal too, though, dude. So this kind of, so I've heard this on Timcast IRL, and I think this does make sense. And they were talking about, there was a theory floating around that Joe Biden drops out of the presidential race around like March or May, due to health concerns, and because it's going to be too late to host a Democrat primary or to like pick another candidate, that the DNC is going to have to appoint someone.
Oh,
so
okay.
Hear me out, dude.
Who would it be?
So I have an idea of how they're going to roll this, because this is almost too perfect with Texas threatening fucking civil war and possible secession and shit.
Yep.
And then you have multiple states that are now supporting Texas. And this is also tying in too, because Trump is now throwing in his fucking 2 cents on it. And he's talking about, he's like, oh yeah, other states should support this. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up, because like, you're almost giving the case for insurrection against yourself again. Like they're already charging you with it once. And so now,
at the same time, even before all this happened, their fucking states are going in. I forget which. Was it Arizona? Wait. It was Arizona that said like they're not going to accept Trump on the ballot and shit.
Yeah.
So,
Arizona
what are you gonna do?
and I think it was like one of them other fuck them people.
So what
no,
else is-
Colorado. No, it was Colorado and in one of them other places.
If you add that to the mix too, and then you look at this, and then you got the guy that you said that nobody can vote for, then going, well, you should support Texas against the federal government, and then the federal government saying fuck your state rights, and then Trump's going like, yo, taking me off the ballot as state rights is also fuck that too.
Right.
Like it's going so much crossfire.
So dude, like I believe Trump should be able to talk, and that's, I mean, like, bro, he's a presidential candidate. He should be able to say, yeah, states should be able to support this.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that so with this popping off, there's a couple ways this could go down in my mind. This is what I'm thinking, right? So it could be, depending on how fast shit pops off in Texas, you know, like if the Civil War pops off before the election, then, you know, that's going to fuck things up, but it might not for them. So there's only one person in this whole world that the Democrats can possibly throw at the Orange Man and potentially win and turn it into a narrative of racism. I'm going to give you one guess. Who do you think it is? Take all the time you need. One person.
I feel like turning it into a narrative of racism.
One person, bro. It's one person that could do this. Only one person.
Kamala? I don't know.
Dude, there's no.
I
Dude, they
just-
won't even let Kamala
Yeah,
on
but I
camera
thought-
for
but
more
I
than
thought-
2 minutes because she
I-
sounds like a third grader.
I just think about the dude from Cali. I forget. Newsom.
Big Mike.
Oh my God.
It's Big Mike.
That would be fucking crazy.
They're gonna
Dude, that
wait.
would be crazy.
Hear me out.
I don't believe
Joe
in any
Bi-
of this,
dude,
by the way, but that's very interesting.
Dude, hear me out, bro. It's the only way this can go down.
Okay.
So hear me out. All right. They're going to have to replace Biden because, again, like, it's going to be too late to hold an election. So they're going to have to appoint someone. So it's either going to be Gavin Newsom or Big Mike. I think they're going to pick Big Mike because this ties in to, if Texas is popping off shit, they're going to be like, look, it's these fucking Southerners again, and it's because Big Mike's running for president, or Big Mike is president, and that's why they're going to secede, not succeed.
Right,
They're going to secede from that and cause Civil War 2.0, and they're going to blame it on racism. Dude, it's the only way I can see this popping off, bro. Big Mike is the only one who can defeat the Orange Man, bro. The angry Cheeto is too powerful to be defeated by anyone else.
Fucking just gonna put the whole entire Yankees on those broad Play-Doh shoulders.
If this was fucking Vegas odds, I would totally put money on Big Mike, possibly. I mean, dude, if they pull out Big Mike, it's a Hail Mary, dude. Like, it's the
What are the chances? Well, keep talking. I'm gonna look and see if they got Vegas odds on
if Big Mike's actually going to become
which is Michelle Obama,
the nominee, dude. I mean, it's the only person who could possibly be. Because, dude, like, who else are they going to fucking pick? They won't do RFK because he's too fucking. He's too lit, and I think they're just tired of listening to him talk because it sounds pretty rough. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, he's a really smart guy, but like listening to him talk is kind of rough sometimes. But like, they're not going to do RFK. They won't do Kamala because, like I said, they won't even put her on camera for more than a few minutes because she has like the speaking skills of a third grader, and Joe Biden is clearly not going to be able to fucking do this again for another 4 years. Like, I'd be surprised if he lives it for another 4 years. Like, and I'm not being mean or anything. Like, dude, he's rough, bro. Like, he doesn't look good. And so, besides Gavin Newsom, who no one likes, besides California, and even then they tried to fucking recall him. So it's not even like he's well liked in California. So, dude, their only logical choice to win this election is Big Mike. There's no one else. Dude,
even without this setup,
and hear me out, bro. Hear me
already...
out. Here's going to be the caveat. You ready for this?
Okay.
Barack Obama for vice president.
Oh my God, she's gonna fucking dom him.
It's the only way that they can defeat the Cheeto, bro. It's the only way.
Like, she's gonna put the strap. She doesn't need it,
bro.
She doesn't need the strap.
Barack is gonna be vice president, and Big Mike is gonna be president. bro.
Little Barack, Big Mike. Fucking. It's the Jordan Pippen.
Bro. I'm just, dude. It's their Hail Mary, bro. It's the only way. It's the only way, bro. They're gonna throw Big Mike and Barack at it because, dude, it's the name recognition is gonna carry them the whole way, dude, and it's gonna surpass all fucking logical like senses in people. Like, people aren't gonna remember 2019. They're not gonna remember it. They're just gonna remember fucking Barack, and that's it. And they're gonna be like, yeah. And somehow they're gonna pull it out, dude. Like, they're gonna praise Big Mike, and Big Mike's gonna preside over Civil War 2.0. Big Mike is gonna be Abe Lincoln.
You want to know the odds on that? For Michelle
There
Obama?
are Vegas odds
Yes,
for Michelle
a presidential
Obama.
election, and Michelle Obama is certainly on it. So
What's the odds?
I'll start with the most likely and go down.
Okay.
This article, hold on, let me tell you when this article was made.
I can't believe there's actual Vegas. When's
this was done on the 24th, January 24th.
Oh,
so
shit.
That was
So
only
this is
4
fucking
days
recent.
ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Donald Trump, 5 out of 6 odds. Pretty fucking good. I mean, what is that? Whatever. Like,
yeah, that's a lot.
Better than 80%.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is 15 to 8.
Oh shit.
Oh, I see what's saying. That this is like okay. 5 to 6. So it's how's that work?
Does that 5 to 6 of him lose it?
To 6. Fuck. But this I think that this is in terms of likelihood to win, I believe, because it looks like it. I don't understand how the ratio works. But anyway, so it says Trump 5 to 6, make that of what you will. It says Joe Biden 15 to 8. So I see what's happening. Okay. Basically, if you bet Trump, you're not going to double your money even. It's 5 to 6. You put 5 in,
like
you get
$6 back. So essentially, like,
you're not. I don't even think you're doubling. Like right.
You're just getting like.
So I don't know how that works. Either way, okay. Yeah, how does that work? I don't know. But then Joe Biden is 15 to 8. So like there's definitely a difference there. I feel like I think 6, like the denominator, so like if Trump is 5 to 6, I think 6 you'll be like you put 6 in and you'll get 5 back.
Bro, this is why I don't gamble.
And then this is what I think. So please send your hate comments and tell me how dumb I am.
Yeah, please.
Please. Just at Pablo Punk. Joe Biden is 15 to 8, so then I think that is you put 8 in, you'll get 15 back. You'll nearly double up.
Okay.
And then Michelle Obama is 11-1, so you put 1 in, you get 11 back. But she's third on the likelihood.
Bro, that's just because Joe Biden hasn't dropped out yet.
And Nikki Haley, well, right, this is when you put your bets in.
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley's after her, 20 to 1.
Wow.
Gavin Newsom is 20 to 1, tied. Robert Kennedy's 22 to 1. Kamala Harris is 40 to 1. Damn.
Dude, what? I mean, dude, she's like not that far away from,
Dude, so the Michelle Obama
she's a very special person.
Yeah.
She's very special.
But that's, bro, you do it now. If you believe in that theory, you do it now, and the whole odd shift. I have an idea.
She does have some good qualities.
I have a great idea for a business.
What's that?
I'm sorry if I'm going off subject, but it's very specific to gambling. Someone just fucking steal it, because I don't even know how to pitch this, and I'm not one of the inside people who can do
literally
this.
steal things, because we don't.
Well,
actually
stealing is a form of protest, and we've learned that in the 2020 race riots, civil rights movement. So steal my intellectual property. That's whatever. Just throw me some cash. So the idea is like for gambling.
We take Venmo.
So when you gamble, it's like, hey, this team's going to win or this team's going to lose. This guy will win the election. This guy, Mike, will win. And that's how it works. It works on the outcome. But like, that's like just like a binary thing. But what if we did it like options, like stock options? So it's about the likelihood of it happening. So like right now, Michelle Obama is what we said 11 to 1. But let's say Joe Biden drops out and then she becomes like 5 to 1. So like now, if you bet now after Joe Biden gets out, you will win way less money,
bro. But
wait. So Joe Biden drops out, you make less money if you bet on Michelle Obama because the odds have shifted over time. You see what I'm saying?
If Barack's the VP pick, though, it's gonna be fucking.
But
stupid.
don't add shit. I'm trying to explain a concept.
No, but bro,
my God.
I know. Look,
I'm talking math, so you can't just fucking do that.
From one AI Pablo to another,
Yes.
like I feel my existence is threatened in the Pablo verse. I feel like we could become unplugged.
We're not going to become unplugged. So Michelle Obama.
Who pays the power bill?
If Joe
there's a
Biden
civil
drops out,
war?
if Joe Biden drops out, if Joe Biden drops out, then Michelle Obama becomes way more likely to become president.
Yes.
Okay, so if you would bet after Joe Biden drops out, you'd make way less money.
Probably
Yes, because the likelihood.
Yeah.
So the scale switches. So what I'm saying is create something called like gambling options to where I could buy in right now on a Michelle Obama.
To where it doesn't it stays as it like
Yeah.
it's a locked in
I get
rate.
a contract.
Yeah.
I get a contract for those odds, and I
Right.
buy them. And then when Joe Biden drops out, I no longer care who wins the president. I don't think she's going to win the president. I just thought Joe Biden was going to drop out. So then I sell my contracts to be redeemed to the exchange, and I make fuck tons of money. I make whatever the difference in odds were.
Capitalism. Yeah, we should do
Yeah.
this. That'd be dope.
Yeah, just a nice market maker J trick, but add it on top of degenerate gambling. So like, imagine you're watching like a sporting game, like I don't know, your sporting game. Geez, you're watching like football, and you're like, I think the Rams are gonna win, but you don't care that the Rams are gonna win. So like, what you do is you buy that the Rams are gonna win, and then they're up by like 30.
Right.
What was that Saints game that we came back on against the Falcons?
There was no.
It was like 25 something. I always bring up the fucking
How many
score.
times has this happened? I mean,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
the
yeah.
Falcons. They suck anyway.
Yeah, whatever the lead was. So like, let's just say like the Rams are up 30 to like fucking 7 or 0. Or it's like 25-0, I believe was one of the things. And it's at halftime. And then I'm just like, I have the options. So I go, dude, they're never going to get more likely to win than being 30-0, you know?
Right.
Like, so I sell my options, and then they go on to fucking like get AIDS on the field, break every fucking bone, and lose somehow. And then I still made my money, and somebody could have bought those odds from when that I originally had from the beginning of the game, which was like, shit, I profited and I got out, and whoever would have bought my options would have just got destroyed. Like if anybody else went to redeem them, you know what I mean? So it's like this idea that you could be like, all right, I'm out. Like you're watching the odds of your option while you're watching the game.
That would actually be kind of like a cool fucking like. We should trademark this shit.
I know, but the thing is like, I need the guy. Like I even understand how it would work because I understand options in a stock market. So I understand how it would work with liquidity and all this fucking Jewish math.
Dude.
But the problem is like I need a programmer and I need like the guy to buy it. I need Dave Portnoy, another fellow Jew. Shalom. But yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dave knows he's Jewish.
Bro,
one bite, everyone knows the rules.
Yeah, dude, I'm
There was
seriously.
a better joke there, but I
that'd
couldn't
be
say it.
legit. Like you could like legit make a fucking like app just for elections, and it would purely be like a stock options, like an options trading based version of betting. Like and dude, it would just be for like Polita nerds and shit. Bro, we should we should like totally cut this podcast off and totally not air this part.
Yeah.
Trademarked anyway, bitches, if it does air. Anyway, like,
Yeah,
it's fucking ours, bro.
We patented the process.
We patented it via YouTube's fucking watermark on when this was posted. We said it first, you cunts.
Hell yeah. Ain't nobody on our fucking level.
Hell yeah. That shit would be dope. But yeah, bro. So, like, Civil War's coming.
Yeah.
So, like, shit's gonna suck. Like, we're all gonna get drafted. It's gonna blow. But like, you know, the good part is like the globalists will get what they want, you know, they'll get depopulation, we'll get to half the United States population, you know, because, you know, apparently that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be good times.
Imagine I wanna see how that works. Like there's a civil war, and then the states start drafting for their war, and then the Supreme Court's like, no, actually, states, you can't do a draft. Actually, no, just don't.
I don't want to fucking do that shit. I mean, to be honest, man, like, I was totally cool with just chilling beforehand, you know?
Yeah.
Like, peace was kind of dope. I'm not going to lie.
That was cool, because we could always talk about Civil War as if it might happen, but it wasn't actually going to.
Yeah, but now
it's actually happening.
Like, now it's like literally right there, and it's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like,
we have about 300 versions of a zombie apocalypse, but imagine you're in a zombie apocalypse and you're like, yo, this shit ain't lit.
yeah, like, this actually sucks. Like, I've never actually gone 2 weeks without showering so far. But this really blows.
All those episodes of Doomday's Prepper didn't do me dick. I'm almost out of fucking mac and cheese.
Bro, I've been living on cat food for fucking 3 weeks now.
I've been living on cats for 2 days. Actually, I've been eating really good at the local Chinese restaurant. They're still... Oh, shit. No shit. Like, when the grid goes down, you know who is still going? Me and your brother know this shit firsthand. We ate fucking hibachi every night. No one has electricity or working fucking anything. And we were like, I guess we're ordering Uber. I guess
who the fuck?
I guess we're going to have a Mexican deliver fucking hibachi.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that tree is blocking the road. He'll figure it out.
He's probably got a winch on his car or some shit. Just fucking get that shit clean out of the way, bro. He's a problem solver.
We smoked weed and ate hibachi every night, and we were like, bro, how are they fucking still going? And we're like, oh, they only hire their own family, who's probably not here even legally.
Wait,
it's
did
not
you
like
really
they
order hibachi like every night?
Yes.
It was like the only place open.
Yes. And we Uber Eats it during the apocalypse every fucking night. We got the chicken and whatever, the egg fried rice with chicken, and like. It was like they would fill that shit up all the way. And I figured out, I was like, oh, it's because they only hire their family, so they don't need to call workers in. They're just like, yo, where the fuck's your cousin? Like, they're like, oh, he's sleeping upstairs. Like, get him down to the kitchen.
Have him come deliver this shit right now.
Yeah. Get him. Oh, he's upstairs. Tell him to fucking take the canoe down, like, or whatever.
Yeah, right.
There's a whole
come
fucking
pedal
place
this
is
shit
flooded.
over there. Bro,
Yeah.
no electricity. That's wild, bro. Generators are great, you know. Yeah.
That was good times, dude. That was good times.
Well, you know, the storms are always fun and shit, man, especially once they come through, because it's like you get to have those retarded experiences,
dude.
grilling in the middle of a hurricane and shit,
Hell
you know?
yeah.
Like, dude, I cannot tell you how many times as a kid and shit, like, it'd be like a fucking literal hurricane coming through, you know, there's no power, so, like, you know, and your house runs on electric, you know, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And so it'd be like the hurricane's rolling through and, like, set up the fucking grill in the back and be like, well, everybody's hungry. I mean,
So
what the fuck you
fucking
gonna do,
sick,
dude? It was, bro. It was sick. Like, dude, and it's crazy because, like, you see people freak out, like, when the shit comes through. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking storm,
Dude,
bro. Like, it's not like you haven't lived through this a million times,
Bro,
you know?
the whole highway was backed up and there was no gas. And we literally saw people fighting over gas, like physically fighting over gas.
Where was this?
In Metairie. Oh, edit that. Okay. And so yeah, it was on that highway. And then when we came back around, like to the house, right by the big station right there, the racetrack or whatever, bruh, me and your bro had to go get gas. I'm like, this is gonna take forever. And they were stacked up on the fucking highway there. We pulled in the side entrance and there was just a pump there, and we just pulled up, like, we looked around, we pulled up and got gas and didn't wait in any fucking line. And there was just like, for some reason, when people were in a line, they just never went towards that pump. And we're like, yo, did we just pull in, get gas, and leave?
It's like, it's not my fault. You guys are waiting on the other side. Like,
Yo,
what idiots?
Let's fucking celebrate with some hibachi and smoke weed tonight. We were gonna do that anyway. And your older brother was fucking had his fucking Jeep and was doing donuts on the levee, bro. On the face of the levee. Like, just like, like drifting up the fucking
That's all.
shit.
Yeah, well, they were talking
got
like
a
the
video of
roads
that.
were fucking closed. They had fucking debris and shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, they
like,
had
you
a
gotta get
tree.
around it.
They had a giant fucking cypress tree.
Bro, I mean, if
blocking
you're
the road.
gonna get around a cypress tree, a Jeep's a good way to
And
fucking.
that
do
was
it.
the shitty part. My motorcycle was down, and I was like, "This is exactly when you want a fucking little CB 250 Nighthawk to fucking just bug out."
Bro. Not to mention bad times, but like R.I.P. to your motorcycle. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
I saw the pictures the other day, and I'm very sorry. Like,
What's that?
you sent me pictures of like, it's like the tank scratched or something.
No,
Like
no,
it
I'm
had some
good.
damage or something. No, it was
I just texted
it was
you.
your mirror and shit. I think was fucked up on it.
So
and
I got
shit.
a for the listeners, I got a fucking Ducati. It's a
It's a monster
cafe racer,
Monster
scrambler
sevens.
cafe racer.
Yeah,
And espresso black, by the way.
so dank.
Brown. So it's pretty much like dark brown. And I was filling up the tire because it has like a slow leak. Not that slow, actually. And I was filling up the tire and it was a fucking neutral and just enough air in the tire that it rolled forward and the kickstand fell. And I just watched it and I was like, no. And I didn't even think to try to grab it. It's not that heavy of a bike. And then it just fell and I bent the little shifter in. So when I went to shift leaving, it was hitting the crankcase. I didn't know what it was and I didn't have time to look at it, but that's all it is. But it scratched my mirror and it bent my clutch a little bit. So I got to get another clutch, like just a clutch handle. And I bent the little shifter out so it can shift now. And I just got to...
It does shift though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not fucked up.
I didn't run it. and try, but it moves fine. Even when I rode it, it worked downshifting. It was just going to upshift, and I couldn't see what was happening because it was hitting the crankcase.
Right.
That was all that was.
Well, I mean, that's good. At least it fucking works.
I thought they
That's
got
the
that thing
important
on
part.
there called a power shifter or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know. It's like these it's like a little thing that screws into another little thing, and it's basically acts like what usually is a spring for the shifter. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it's like a little mechanical thing, and it also has like a little electrical thing, so you know what gear you're in on it. And I thought maybe that was bent too, and I was like, "Fuck, that thing alone's like over $200." And I was like, "But it's not because obviously my shit's moving fine." So I was really bummed out, but it's gonna live.
It's
Just change
one of-
it.
it's
I don't
one of
even
the-
want mirrors on that bike. I'll fucking take the mirror off.
Yeah, I know, but they're fucking required though. It's
Really?
law. Yeah. You have to have mirrors. They're
I'll
kind
do
of important, bro.
Fuck it. I never even use them. I just look over my shoulder. I don't trust the mirror.
Bro, don't be ghetto. They're there for a reason.
Yeah, my bike's really illegal anyway, so I probably shouldn't do anything illegal now.
Like from one motorcyclist to another. So like, I've been riding. Well, both of us have been riding motorcycles since childhood.
Yeah.
But I will say that Pablo Punk is a much more skilled rider than I like as far as like doing stupid shit.
State champion. Fuck
Yeah,
with me, homie.
right.
Multiple states.
So here you have to remember. So like, Pablo Punk grew up riding like motocross style shit.
Yes.
Whereas Han Pablo grew up riding like Honda Z50. Like in the back trails.
Yeah.
So like my style of riding is much more chill, whereas this motherfucker will straight throw a foot down on a sport bike and slide one tire in the rain and be like, let's do this shit, let's go. And like, I personally have never ever thrown a fucking foot down and slid the ass end of a motorcycle around in a turn ever. Like, so I am a bitch, but whatever,
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a spectrum here. I'm also like,
I look at
that's
that
my
fucking,
God-given gift. Like, there's actually
Dude,
nothing to buy.
100%.
It's not even
Bro,
anything to brag
100%.
about. It's my God-given gift.
It really is.
It's been in my family.
This motherfucker can ride, bro.
So that's what my dad, like, it's, you know how like you have like evolutionary genetics,
Right.
And, like, so like,
Did your dad ride?
so yeah, my dad rode our whole family rode.
My pops rode.
So like the evolutionary or the epigenetic thing is like they'll have like rats and they put them in a box or whatever, and they would spray cherry blossoms, smell of cherry blossoms, and then play the sound of a hawk. And then they were like, fuck! And they associated like when cherry blossom smells, you're fucked. And then those rats had kids or mice had kids, and then those mice had kids. So now it's the grandchildren of the original.
Right.
And then they sprayed cherry blossoms, and they started freaking the fuck out. So like in their genetics, the instinct stayed, even though they never personally experienced it, and even though their parents never personally experienced it. So my epigenetics comes from my dad trying to take like berm corners super fast, and if he didn't go fast enough, his brothers sat there on both on the entry and the exit of the corner with a big fucking stick to knock him off the bike. So that was the game. You have to go into the corner and not get bludgeoned off the bike.
Oh shit.
So yeah, he would get fucking bludgeoned on the ground, hit him while he's on the ground, and that's how you have to take turns worth of shit.
I can't say I've been bludgeoned with a stick while going around a corner. You know, like my dad was always just like, fucking don't, you know, his. Honestly, and dude, if I could give this advice to anyone, dude, I totally would.
Is this the car accident advice?
No.
You gotta drop that too.
Dude, so fucking many, right? Well, no, dude, my pops' best motorcycle advice he ever gave me, and I've told it to so many people because it totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. He said, every time I ever crashed or ate shit or fucking something bad happened, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, that's true.
100%.
Oh, fucking for real.
So take that as you may, but
yeah,
know that when you do things you're not supposed to, and you know you're fucking doing it when you do it, know that there is increased risk in that, and that most likely, and I'm not saying it because, dude, sometimes you just get blindsided by a drunk driver. Shit happens,
yeah, that's
right?
enough.
But like, most likely when bad shit happens, it's always when you're doing something you're not fucking supposed to.
Motorcyclists love to play like, it's so hard out there. It's like, yo, but I see y'all drive like fucking pricks.
Yeah, dude, some of these people drive like fucking idiots, bro. I mean, bro, like when I ride, like, and don't get me wrong, like I have a Harley, right? So like my shit fucking, it's air cooled, like, and fuck y'all if y'all are gonna. I don't even want to start that argument. Harley versus sport bike. Like I used to have a sport bike, bro. The only thing that encourages is breaking fucking very many laws. Because like, here's the thing, dude. When you got 105 or 110 horsepower on a 4-cylinder, like that weighs, 350, 400 pounds, like. It doesn't want to do 35 miles an hour. Like
you end up drifting up to 50.
Yeah, dude. Like the only like 35 miles an hour is in like a very high RPM of like a gear that you don't want to be in. Yeah. Like, and it's not good for just doing a speed limit. And so it encourages you to do stupid things. So, I mean, and I can imagine the Ducati's got to be good because like, that's a V-twin 2-cylinder.
You gotta fucking ride the thing before I ruin it. Jesus.
Dude, I do want to fucking ride that mother. You need to... I have a fucking reputation. Yeah, you need to legalize that bitch, you fucking cunt. Like,
I want to legalize it just so I can put the W and G plate on it.
I want you to fucking legalize it so I can ride it and not feel bad. Like, we live, like, the place that it's parked at and the place that's next to us are both, like, communist as fuck. Yeah. Like, so it's just like, any way you ride this bitch, it's a dangerous territory. And it's just like, and I want to see what it can do in, like, fuck. That's just, I mean, because, dude,
I've hit 120 on it.
So, the
when I first bought it.
That's the fastest you've been.
Yeah, it goes it goes a little bit over 140. I'll do that one time, but I'm not that interested in going fast, to be honest with you. I'm happy getting wherever the fuck I'm going when I get there. I did a $140 one time trying to catch up to some friends on my old bike, my Bandit 1200, and it didn't work out for your friends, right? Oh, no. They were fine. That was a different time. I didn't catch them, dude. They were way stupider than me. Damn. Like, I still had, like, I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. Like, dude, I looked down, like, because, like, dude, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to keep up, and, like, and then they disappeared, and I was like, all right, let's fucking kick it up. And, like, dude, I looked down, I was like, holy shit, dude, ain't no fucking way, bro. I was like, I backed off of that immediately, But, I mean, like, it was fun, don't get me wrong, but, like, again, this is why I got rid of my sport bike. I was like, yeah, this is, I mean, like in a Bandit, it's not even really a sport bike. It's more like a sport touring
because I didn't even have the one with the fairing. Mine was naked.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you rode on it. Remember that, dude? That was yeah. You remember that time?
I do remember that. I was riding bitch.
Yeah, that was the first time we remembered that like we were related at one time and we knew each other already.
Yep.
Two Pablos that have been associated since very early.
I want to. There was another little piece of advice that I think of, and we have to talk about this guy one day. But Stretch, Big Red.
Fuck yes, dude.
One of the advices I guess whatever his advice was, never do two illegal things at once. And I was like, that's
dude,
fucking
for
so
real.
good. That's
for
so good.
real.
You could get away with one, but never do two. Like, just never do two illegal things at once.
That
Weed
makes
and
total
guns,
sense.
don't do it.
Yeah, dude. Well, fuck, man. Yeah, like, and in case you people haven't realized, like, there's very little to do with weed or guns in any of these.
Yeah, I
podcasts.
literally don't own guns. I can't tell you the last time I even smoked. Right, so it's like that's the only way I could publicly be associated with this shit. And even then, I'm mostly under a pseudonym, so who gives a fuck? But so even then, you know. But
like,
we have to get into, like, eventually we'll have to cover why weed and guns exist. We have to get into Red, Stretch. We have to do that. That story's fucking crazy. But dude, do you remember that advice that your dad had about car accidents?
No.
So it was something like, I'm probably gonna fuck this up, but he's like, if they're dead, keep going, because you're gonna be there for fucking ever.
What the fuck? Dude, you know what's sad? Like I haven't heard this from him, but at the same time, dude, I could totally imagine him saying that.
He said, if they're dead, keep going, because you're gonna be there forever. Because he told the story. He's like, I pulled over and this guy was fucking dead, and then the cops showed up. Then they needed a statement, and it was the fucking traffic. I was there for fucking hours. I just wanted to go home. Like, damn, dude.
Bro, I know it. That's fucking hilarious. Because I could totally imagine my pops doing some shit like that. Yeah. Dude, I love him to death. But
check the pulse, walk away.
Fuck, bro. He is like, yeah, if you're alive, he'll stop and help.
Yeah.
But especially in his older age, he is not about fucking around.
He'll probably be disappointed that you're alive, because he's like, I'm going to help you because you're still here. But the second that changes, guess where I'm going to be? Not here.
He's one of those people, like, dude, he totally loves being, like, the savior type. Like, don't let him fool you. Because, like, he's one of those people that, like, you know, he'll stop and, like, he sees somebody, like, in trouble on the side of the road, and he'll stop and he'll be like, oh, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And it would be, like, some shit that's, like, not just a fucking, you know, flat tire or whatever, you know? And, like, my pops is just fucking Captain Know Everything, you know, and so it's like, oh man, you just gotta fucking do this and fucking, you know, jump some shit right quick and bam, car started. And it's just like, yeah, that's him, bro. It's just like old school knowledge that like most of us just don't have no more.
That's so true. No, he's always been fucking so helpful and shit. That's fucking cool. So
motherfucking knows everything.
He does. He does. I talked to him about, like, oh, bro, you fucking climb cell towers. I hate that shit. Anything that I have done in disliked,
bro, he used to work around that shit, man. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like, he used to work for the energy company for the state. Like, bro, he used to be all over that kind of stuff. So, like, you know, energy, like actual transmission towers, cell towers, all that kind of shit. Like, he was around all that stuff. And yeah, you're quick to tell you, he's like, man, fuck that. I ain't going up there. It's like other people get paid way more than me to go up there. It ain't my fucking job. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Him and helicopters, too.
Bro,
he loves helicopters.
No, it's a love-hate relation. He loved helicopters until one of them sucked a frog on intake, like in the intake on takeoff, and it wasn't fun after that. You know, he was just like, yeah, we almost died. It was like, fuck that.
Didn't he see a helicopter accident?
Yeah,
on an oil rig or some shit?
yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
wild
that's what he
shit,
was
bro. Yeah,
talking
like, dude, helicopter crashes are violent, man. Like, generally, you don't walk away from those.
Nah, that's that fucking poltergeist shit.
Well, they fall like a brick, and, you know, you're generally filled with highly flammable fuels, and,
Yeah.
you know.
You ever seen that poltergeist video? I think it's poltergeist.
Which one?
Where they were shooting poltergeist and they had a helicopter accident. Yo,
No.
let me pull that up. Let's get the reaction to that. That's because it's such an easy video to find. Like, super fucking easy. YouTube Premium. Let me just open that,
shit.
boy. No ads.
Can
fuck your
you,
mother.
like, you can play a video and, like, close like, turn off your phone, and it
Oh,
doesn't.
hell yeah. That's my shit.
Bro,
I have the family plan.
Bro, my wife was paying for YouTube, and then now all of a sudden, I guess she must have quit because,
Oh, shit.
like, bro,
Old card, maybe. Payment information.
bro, I can't fucking play my videos no more. Like, it'll go like 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden it'll fucking stop, and it's total bullshit.
What the fucking... Well...
What the fuck, poltergeist fucking helicopter crash? Is this like a poltergeist movie?
It was a movie. Yeah, they fucked up. Yeah, we don't need the fucking... we'll do... Twilight Zone. It was Twilight Zone. Was it Twilight Zone?
Twilight Zone?
Yes,
Bro,
it's Twilight Zone. Fatal accident.
Let me see. Hold on a second.
The worst thing you could ever see would be 3 people, particularly 2 children. And Harlan Brown successfully defended director John Landis against charges of murder. The worst thing you could ever see would be 3 people, particularly 2 children, killed right on film. When you first see it, just overwhelming. The gruesome deaths were recorded on numerous cameras and shown repeatedly at the trial.
Yo.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck was this on?
It's Twilight. They were shooting a Twilight Zone episode or movie.
Oh, so they were shooting a movie
set.
and this happened?
Set. Yeah.
So they were using our actual helicopter and it crashed?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a real crash and the fucking blades fucking really fucking did what they did.
What?
Yeah.
Bro. That's fucking wild. I've never seen that.
Yeah. I thought that was Poltergeist. Obviously, you could tell I've never seen Poltergeist. If I think an accident that has nothing to do with it. I was kind of like, why is helicopters in a ghost movie?
Dude, my wife got me to watch all,
Zone?
I completely hate horror movies with a fucking passion.
Same.
Like I'm not really a fan, but my wife got me to watch the, she was, and this was during Halloween last year, so this was obviously like a few months ago or whatever, but like, she was like, we're going to start watching some horror movies for Halloween. I was like, whatever, I fucking hate them anyway. So she started with this one, it was uninteresting, it was okay at best, and then it was pretty lame, and she was like, you need to, she was like, I was like, what is the scariest one that you've seen so far? And she was like, The Nun.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, well, let's watch that. Because, like,
I'm not trying to cut you, but it's like, is there a part in the movie, like, where he's going up, like, a spiral staircase or something? Like a lighthouse or something? And she's fucking flying up or, like, following him or
possibly?
Some shit? I think I might have even seen this. This is not new.
Yeah. No. This just came out a while back. So she was like, The Nun's the scariest one. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, the one you showed me before, it was like, I forget what the name of it was. Like I said, but it wasn't that scary. And I was like, whatever. Like, it was an older one too. So I watched The Nun, and in The Nun, one of the guys has a firearm.
I didn't see it. Okay.
Right. And he actually kind of saves the day. And I was like, holy shit, the first time in a fucking horror movie, somebody's got a gun and it actually does something. I was like, but it was actually kind of good. It had some jumpy parts, but it wasn't that bad. And I was like, this is actually pretty good. So then I got alerted to, she was like, The Nun is part of the Conjuring series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about them.
So I was like, what is that? So I've sequentially watched all the Conjuring movies during pretty much the whole month of October. And I'm not going to lie, I actually enjoyed them a lot.
No shit.
Because they're based on true stories. And I mean, all these movies are old, so like I'm not giving away any spoilers or anything, but like the movie's based on the like this actual married couple who was like kind of like ghost hunter detective type people, who not like who kind of just like solved the thing. So, but they kept a lot of the artifacts from most of the hauntings they visited in their home in a museum, and this place actually exists in real life now. One of them is the Annabelle doll, which is like a possessed fucking, like the real one looks like I think it's a Raggedy Ann or something like that, but like in the movie obviously it looks way fucking creepier, bro. But like, bruh, let me tell you, if there's one thing I do not fuck with is Ghost.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
because it's shit you can't shoot. You don't fuck with shit you can't shoot.
I don't fuck with anything that I can't shoot at, bro. Like, if I can't put bullets in it, I ain't fucking with it. And like Ghost, nah,
bro. I'll fuck. This should be a horror movie, dude.
What?
I just came across this.
Joe Biden.
Well, that's
for
a
a second
train
term?
accident.
A second term of Joe Biden.
That's an
is a fucking
IRL
movie.
Yeah, that's an IRL. It's not a movie. It's okay. So apparently they used to have different night vision. Tell me if you've heard about this.
Okay.
Because I just heard about this and I was like,
You talking about the new one?
What?
The
no,
new
old night vision.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
so every month I like make a playlist. Like I just add to a playlist and I'll be like January 2024. And then like I can remember, I can go through everything I've seen, like just see the titles, but oh yeah, I've seen that. And then I could just put them on and let them play while I drive or whatever. And then, so I was trying to find videos about this, but so I'm not like read on it at all yet. But so there used to be an old type of night vision, and now night vision is what color?
Green.
Green, but it used to be red. The first night vision, and they used it in Vietnam. So
yeah, it was like the starlights and shit. The starlight scopes. They
yeah,
were the original night vision.
So, and I think these were actually goggles. They weren't just scopes.
Oh, okay, okay.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that because I didn't really. But the way the story went, it sounded like it was because this guy's running. People would see shit, but through the night vision, that's not really there. But see flying people, and they called them demons. Like that's so. One of the instances this happened was they had a gunner in a helicopter. It might have been a mounted gun. I don't know. I suppose it would be a mounted gun. So that's why I'm assuming that it was a mounted gun. So then I'm assuming it's like he had a headset because you know what I mean. So the dude just is going over the fucking Vietnam jungle spraying, and the pilot, you know, is basically like, "What the fuck are you shooting at?" And then he was like, "Dude, there was something. There was like a flying person coming at us." And then they had people on the ground that could corroborate it because they saw it too because they also had night vision on. So they heard the shots from the helicopter and looked up and saw the same thing that he supposedly saw. And I don't know, I got to hear way more accounts, but it's good lore at least. A horror movie in Vietnam,
dude.
Like that would be fucking awesome.
So you're talking about that, and it just reminded me of. So there was actually a recent UFO video that came out. You're talking about people with night vision and seeing things and whatnot. Yeah. So this was in Iraq. They call this the jellyfish UFO video. Have you heard of this?
I saw a headline, but I didn't actually see it.
So you didn't see the video?
No.
Have you ever seen the original 3 Star Wars films?
I have, but I don't know what I'll remember.
Do you remember like the second one when he's on the frozen planet, Hoth, Luke Skywalker, and there's like the little droid, the probe, and it has like the little tentacles, almost looks like a flying jellyfish in the second Star Wars video. So let me see if I can pull up the actual video itself. Let me try this one maybe. Look at this. You see that?
Whoa.
So this video was shot over a military installation in Iraq.
How fast is this thing?
Dude, it's literally just flying over a military installation. So they saw this thing flying. They had operators go out there with night vision. That. Okay, this is actually filmed from a perimeter fence camera system. like an actual system that like it's a defense system set up on the perimeter fence to monitor things outward and inwards in the installation, and it caught this. So,
but they couldn't fucking.
So hear me.
This is the shit that we couldn't stop on October 7th.
Well, so they sent operators outside with night vision, and they couldn't see it with night vision. They could only see it with the infrared camera. So this thing, which they don't show in another video, goes over a body of water, goes into it for about 15 minutes, comes back out, and then shoots the fuck off.
Is that on here?
No.
Okay.
It's in an unreleased video. This is the only one we've seen so far. But they couldn't see it with night vision. They can only see it with the thermal imaging cameras that you see here from the perimeter camera systems.
This thing just literally looks like a
fucking yes.
Like
it looks like a fucking Star Wars,
like a little probe.
Dude. It looks like an Empire Strike Back's fucking probe on Hoth. Like, hear me out. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a picture right quick. Hear me out. Hold on.
Typing.
Hold on, typing. I know.
Did you mean
a Pablo can only move so fucking fast, bro?
This is true.
Bro.
Yeah, yes, literally that.
Bro.
It literally is that.
Holy fuck. Is it not that? It's a fucking probe, dude. It's a fucking Empire probe.
Dude, what timeline are we on?
So, hear me out, dude. I'm going to go grab a beer before I light this next cigarette because shit's getting real.
Okay.
What fucking reality are we living in? Is this a deep fake? Are we living in the start of the fucking alien war where they have to unite us all and they start using deep fake videos to fake an alien invasion?
Bro,
they're using straight Star Wars probes as fucking like computer models. Bruh. What the fuck is this? What reality are we living in, bro?
You know, well, I sent you an article and I wasn't able to read it, but it was about quantum networks, I believe was the word. Quantum systems they're finding that quantum systems are able to shift, quote, scenes in time, go forwards or backwards. But that's kind of what I explained to you. We were texting someone. I was like, dude, I have fever dreams where we have satellites that have a connected quantum. There are quantum computers on satellites that are like making a network with each other to where the electrons, like I don't want to like skip over the logic, but like electrons are in superposition. They can literally be nowhere in both places at once or two places at once. And then they're also connected to other atoms or other electrons and other atoms. So if you were to connect these things, you would actually have a medium that transcends space-time.
Bro,
So the problem is if you had these things linked to each other and you were able to cover a perimeter, my idea was like, bro, if you say you had like tons of satellites that were all connected and like they could create like a manipulation field. And I've said that to you, and then like literally days later to like quantum systems can shift time. I'm like, yeah, because in my text I was like, they could literally make Earth a simulation like plane. If like it would become a physical metaverse, because then you change the medium, the canvas of space time.
We have to
mold it.
We have to, because we were just talking about this like before we went live. So like we kind of have to address it now because now we're in that same fucking realm of like dimensional and fucking interdimensional and whatnot. But I need
let's get that.
I need to urinate and grab another beer.
I also need a pee. Yes.
We'll be back.
Adios.
Nothing, but still.
Look, bro, we got 50 fucking views.
Bro,
on the
we
last
had
upload.
50 views on the last podcast.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So
no, but seriously, yes. Like we were talking before, this was like
UFOs and fucking quantum bullshit, and
so. But this also kind of ties into also what we were talking about before we went live too. Because we were like, yo, how many times do we hear shit on a fucking podcast and, like, they never ask the good fucking questions? Like...
Or they're just fucking saying some shit with an assumption that's wrong.
Right. Like, dude, like, I love Joe Rogan, bro. I love him to death. You got Elon for fucking 3 hours, bro.
Have you had anchovy pizza?
bro, what the fuck? Like,
Let's do it, Joe.
dude, I mean, so, like, I'm like, this man is literally, and at this point, like, what? Less than a week away from launching the second attempted Starship. Not even one question. Not even one.
Yeah.
Not even one question about, like, hey, bro, you're about to launch the largest flying object known to mankind, like, and trying to make it orbit Earth. Like, you have any, like, updates or anything?
Are you
no,
like
nothing.
on your way to an AI convention? Let's not talk about that. Oh, did I just have Sam, whatever, fucking not Bankman-Fried, another guy that runs OpenAI? Did I just have him on that you donated $100 million to as a nonprofit, then he became for profit, and then you're not liking how he's running the company, and Microsoft is buying them out, and then he's like kicked out of his own company, and you're on the way to this AI company? Let's not talk about that. Hey, do you want anchovy pizza? Oh, you want to fight Mark Zuckerberg in the Coliseum? I have another good suggestion. Don't do it there. Do it in the fucking the sphere in Vegas. Like Joe, you're 0 for 2 right now with suggestions. Anchovy pizza and fuck the Coliseum. Go for the Vegas sphere,
bro. Just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Also, so the biggest things that I keep hearing is like that. I'm just like, bro, Joe, like, we've addressed this. We should have solved this problem. Like, this is bad ideas.
Dude,
can't we have?
He should have solved this whenever fucking he had when he had Lazar on, because dude, Lazar explained to him how fucking gravity works essentially, or how he theorizes how it works.
He gets gets this all the time. Oh, can't we have like a AI president and we all vote for it? And then like people bring up like voting interference and like you can't trust machines. And then he's like voting machines and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's all fucked up anyway. And, oh, wow, Google censors things. And the algorithms are fucked up. It's all fucked up. Fuck Google. And they have this new policy. But can't we, like, have an AI president? Yo, like, you always make the strongest arguments for why we couldn't have an AI president.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, but ignore all that. It's kind of old school, but we shouldn't do this stuff anymore. How about an AI president? And it's like, yo, we should vote on phones. We should do this and that. Like, he's always got, like... He always talks about why this would be a bad idea, then does it. And then the other thing, he's like, new propulsion systems. And then he goes, so these things are probably drones. And it's like, well, and then he'll be like, could extraterrestrials also be visiting? And it's like, not just extra dimensional. So let's break that down. If you have a propulsion system that is bending gravity,
right,
that is also manipulating time, you're not going to be affected by the G-forces, dude. So don't worry about it being unmanned drone. It could be, but it doesn't have to be.
Well, like Lazar was talking about, like it would create pretty much like a gravity envelope around the craft.
It has its own gravitational field where you're the center of it.
Yeah, you're bending things around you so you don't experience any G-forces at all. Yeah, you're just bending space and time around you.
So if you see a craft doing this...
So it's like, it wouldn't have to be
You don't need
drone.
to assume that it's a fucking drone. It could be manned because the G-forces that you think that you couldn't pull doing it would not exist anyway. It'd be 0 fucking G.
Yeah, it'd be literally just like watching a TV
and why
screen.
What the fuck do you think under the G-forces and atmospheric pressures could go that fast anyway? I don't care if it's not manned anyway. It would fucking rip apart in the smithereens like under normal pressures if you're going fucking a bajillion miles an hour.
Yeah, it's just like, because you have a fucking envelope.
That's the only solution.
Yeah, like,
and if that's a solution, then it doesn't matter if it's piloted or not. The pilot makes no difference. It's fucking completely
I mean, it's
safe.
unfortunate, but it's just like, it's like Star Trek and Star Wars got it wrong, bro. Like there is no, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put on my shields. It's just like, dude, that shit's antiquated in what it seems like reality in what these crafts actually do, because it's like, we're operating under this assumption, or some people are at least, that it's just like, it's actual ships and shields and this and that. And it's just like, dude, that is antiquated. Like these things are bending space and time, not just crafts operating in a third dimension that are traveling through it. Like these things are third dimension, hopping over to a sixth dimension to get to another spot in the third dimension, and then fucking popping back out. And in fact, that, like you were saying earlier, if something is utilizing multi-dimensions to get from one point to another, it is in fact an interdimensional being.
Yeah. It's like
Like
if train,
even if it exists in a third dimension, it's still interdimensional.
yeah, if we made like the same like classifications, like there's people that walk and there's people who can take a train.
Right.
Okay? Just because you take a train doesn't mean you can't walk.
Right.
So if you're an alien light years away and then you use interdimensional fucking propulsion technology,
I.e. the train.
yeah, like the train, and then you get somewhere way before you could have done if you were walking, doesn't mean you can't walk. Doesn't mean you're not extraterrestrial. You are both extraterrestrial and interdimensional. That's a total. It's completely likely. It's totally likely.
I mean, fuck it.
It's a total possibility. I'm doing the Joe Rogan fills, but yeah, it's entirely possible.
I mean, dude, but it's just fucking wild because it's like what is it that like what the fuck is that probe, bro? Like, what is that?
Yeah, what is it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what
That's
the
fucking
fuck is
crazy.
that, dude? And the fact that it went under the water and then came back out, like, dude, we don't even know what the fuck's under the ocean. And if you believe some of these people, like, dude, I was listening to fucking Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, their podcast, and fucking name is escaping me because I'm retarded, but like they were talking about or they were interviewing one of their guests, you know, and it's just and I mean it's kind of thing like there's multiple supposedly in their realm, like there's multiple different species like of these things, or like, and supposedly we have agreements with some of them, like agreements, like what the fuck is that? You know, and like they were talking about, they're like, you know, what's the reasons that like you wouldn't tell people? Like maybe we're a farm. That would be a good reason to not tell people what the fuck existence is. Like you wouldn't pay taxes anymore if that was the case. You'd be like, fuck this.
But that's true,
you
though.
know,
We are a farm. Like, even if you get... Space-time is a projection. Whoever made the entire fucking thing, not just a visitor from another part of the projection. It's like, yo, like, not to be that guy, but like whether you believe in God or just something, just like some consciousness or anything, it doesn't matter. This thing was made, and we know space-time is a projection, and in space and time necessitate each other, and like we have to experience time linearly. Though we're experiencing time linearly, it doesn't mean that's actually the way time is flowing. I do believe the future could probably affect the past, but we don't experience it that way.
Right.
Our memories are probably getting rewritten all the time to solve that rift, but and we aren't aware of it. But
the name of the podcast is Weaponized, by the way. I'm sorry. Like I was kind
Weaponized.
of,
Okay.
I'm kind of
you're
ashamed
good.
that I couldn't remember because like I listened to it literally every week.
You brought it. You shouted them out multiple times. So.
Yeah, I just felt kind of bad. I was like, I got a shout out, but like it was just an interesting theory, you know, because it's just like, dude, you know, why would you not tell people about that shit?
I think there's so many times in history and we can't see it. I think history is being rewritten all the time, maybe even literally, but definitely philosophically it is, because when something happens, it's like it's like a video game. You play a level and you're like, you don't know how to play the video game. You can't even make the character jump, and then like you beat the first level, but it's like this is like a Sega Genesis. There's no save,
right?
And then you get to the second level and you die and there's no memory. And then you go, all right, I have to start from the beginning. And you remember it and you go through it each time faster and faster. But this time, imagine that like your memories are being rewritten in the past. So you're like, all the failed experiments that things could have gone,
right?
It changes.
What?
So those things change so we can keep equalizing in different time frames. And the future and the past are trying to equalize in the present. So the potential futures are being equalized, and the only way they can equalize is that the past is literally changing, and the only way the past can literally change, well, it might not be literally changing, but at least our understanding of the past has to literally change to change the potential futures. So, and then talk about like being a farm. Look at Plato. Look at Plato's Republic. Look at what Socrates said and what Plato documented Socrates supposedly saying. They make an entire analogy of like, they go, what is justice? And it's very akin to what is truth. And what happens is they keep going. The only way to define truth is to make a world where, or justice is to make a world where justice prevails. Like, let's try to make a thought experiment about a perfect society that would embody justice so much that we couldn't define justice itself. The funny thing is, they never define justice the entire time. They go, okay, well, we want our people to be healthy. Okay, we want our people to be happy, so we give them material stuff, but people will always want more. And then they go through like, okay, we're gonna have tiers of society. We're gonna have these people who run society, and no one knows who they are. And we're gonna have a shadow class, which is like intelligence agencies, and we're gonna have a silver class, which is like supermodels and shit. And the silver class will have orgies with the gold class, and you don't know. You can kind of put two and two together. It's like no one knows whose kid's whose,
Right.
and they're all part of this like orgies, and then they shouldn't have kids outside the system, but they need to have wives. And then you look around, and it's like, well, bro, don't you see like all these politicians have kids that don't look like they came from either one?
Right.
And then the other part of the thing was like, the worst thing that could happen is that you try to raise a dog and you raise a wolf. So when the gold class has a kid with the silver class or bronze, a lower class, what happens is they're like, we'll use the state to train them and test them. So then you get all these stories, and then also it's a great lie, too. Not only is it a trope in movies, like James Bond is an orphan, but so was Tucker Carlson's dad.
Why does Trudeau look like Fidel Castro?
Why does Trudeau look like Fidel Castro? Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Why do I look like Fidel Castro?
These are very interesting things.
So then
You look like a very young, stunning Pablo Escobar
I
in a
wish.
very futuristic garb, sir.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I would actually want to look like Pablo, but fucking Castro is
Hey,
pretty
bro,
cool.
I'm not gonna lie. Was it the Netflix adaptation of Our Lives was actually pretty good? I'm not gonna lie. Like it was good, and I think the actor, and I don't even know his name, and I'm ashamed to know this because he played us and he portrayed our lives.
Javier?
Is it? Is that what his name is? He's a very good looking Pablo, and he has provided
The series or the movie?
The series.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
He's
Javier.
provided many good memes on
Yes.
the social media platforms.
I'm literally almost something like a swing right now.
Dude, the Pablo
Yeah,
of
on
him
the swing.
staring into the nothing on the swing, dude, it's so good.
So the thing about that whole thing, where it's like, well, the state will raise them and train them. It's like, look at it, bro. You got all these people who are orphans that then become billionaires or whatever, and then you have movies that are telling you like, oh yeah, James Bond was a fucking orphan. It's like, yeah, that's what happens. These are illegitimate children of the gold class with the silver class, and then they have to test them to see if they can rise to the gold class on their own.
Right.
So they have the state look at, oh, he got a scholarship. Wow, he went Skull and Bones. Wow, he was an orphan. Wow, how's all this happen? Oh, he gets a government contract. His company just happens to get the. Come on, bro. And then at the end of Plato's Republic, what it seems like is Socrates is not making this as a thought experiment. He's basically telling you indirectly, this is how the world works, bro.
Right.
It's all eugenics. We're breeding different types of people and for different purposes. And then at the end, he's like, okay, here's the other part.
Who wants to fuck? No, I'm just fucking around.
He goes, look, we know somebody, a mutual friend of ours. I forget the fucking motherfucker's name. And he's like, but he died. And when he came back, you know the story. He came back. Well, let me fix one part. Plato talks about how to control who gets to fuck who. And he goes, we'll do a lottery. And ugly people and lower class people, they only fuck other people, but they'll think they just have bad luck because
Right.
it hurts too much to know that you're not desirable genetically or whatever. They definitely conflated class and genetics, which I don't know, is probably fucking somewhat accurate. And so they're like, we'll just create a lottery, but we control who gets to fuck who, like to a certain extent, and they just blame their luck and not become self-aware of their standing in class or physicality, genetics, and stuff, and how the system works. And at the end of it, they're like, we know somebody that died, and when he died, he was in this room or like this place with different life forms and some like higher life forms, something like angels, kind of they describe. And what happens is they choose where you go for the next life. And one of the higher life forms got the lottery, and he became and they made him be a human. Like when he picked the lottery, and he was like so distraught that he had to be a human, meaning that he had never learned his true essence, even as a higher life form. Because if you had the mind and understanding as a higher life form, and you got cast to be a lower life form, you wouldn't worry because you understand. Like you would know yourself, your true self. Like, so, and that's the same beef. This is the last point. That's the same beef Socrates had with Plato. Plato was the first guy that was really writing shit down like this. And Socrates said, if you do this written language shit, you're going to have tons of people who know a lot but understand nothing. And the whole experiment that they talk about is like how to run a perfect society. But what they're doing is explaining how the society's already run, the one that they're in, and they're also kind of like what we do when we use philosophy. Like we're like, oh, what if the world was like this? But it's really us trying to say the world actually does work like this. And the most abstract they got was about that afterlife thing. They're saying, look, society already runs like this, and not even that. There's higher fucking life forms that are doing it to us, and it's being done to them. This shit goes on forever. The Plato's cave goes on forever. We don't know who's casting the shadows. We've never left the cave. It's a cave within a cave within a cave. It goes on for fucking ever.
Right.
And I had one other point. Oh, and so if you think about it, they just had that woman Diana Polinsky.
Yeah,
that's
what I was actually about to ask you about.
So what's interesting about it,
like,
is she talks about this group of people, and they often don't write things down.
Right. Yeah. She
Pencils
was talking about
up.
like it's like an oral tradition passed down. It's like the country secrets, which would make sense.
It's not just country secret. I mean, when she talks about like NASA launches and shit, and she's like, look, it's basically an occult ritual and shit. The other thing, like, so this pencils up thing, bro, and she does, guys, the Rosicrucians are fucking legit.
Well, bro,
The Rosicrucians, the Invisible College, she doesn't want to say who the Invisible College. Fuck, I don't even want to, because I want to be part of the Rosicrucians. I've been wanting to be part of them for like 10 years.
It's wild. This like
not a Freemason.
Like, and I've told you about this multiple times, but I just think it's funny because like we talk about this, and there's like literally a Rosicrucian branch like right there.
I've pointed that out to everybody for years, like a decade. I'd be like, dude, did you know the Rosicrucians? And people are like, what are Rosicrucians? I was like,
it's like, bro, they literally have a shady office next to like a fucking like Quick Mart, essentially.
It's like
in a strip
Indian
mall.
restaurant or something right next to it.
Never has people in front of it. It's so wild.
You got white cloth, and the thing about it is, they only really get together. They could get together more often, or whatever, but they get together like on like the summer solstice, the winter solstice,
say like the solar holidays and shit.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. The other thing that's interesting about that, talking about there, I'll make one reference I think is interesting. The Freemasons basically stole a lot of swag from the Rosicrucians, and they're the opposite of the Rosicrucians. The Freemasons are Luciferian, and I'm not trying to put like any good or bad in like interpretation on either one. It's like your own opinion, but do research and see what you think. But the Rosicrucian Albert Pike, the Freemasons Albert Pike says like, basically we work for Lucifer. Now we say like that's bad, but Lucifer is light. So this is this gets very confusing, and it goes into something Diana Polinsky or whatever her name was, Poliska. Eventually I'll figure out her name. And so they go after light, but you think of light and dark and you think of good and bad, like these concepts we already have associated. And then the Rosicrucians, which predate the Freemasons by a good bit, and they were sworn enemies, especially when Freemasonry kicked up in Denmark, I guess. or another one, whatever the fuck they were. Anyway, the Rosicrucians are Christus. They claim to be Christus suffering, so Christ. So they go, look, both of them are kind of agree. They go, all this shit is a simulation. Okay, it's all a simulation. But you can either use knowledge, enlightenment, to get what you want in the physical world and run the simulation the way you want, or because we realize it's all a test, it's all a simulation, or you could be like the Rosicrucians where they're like, bro, this world, this life, this test, this simulation is not to be dominated, it's to learn. So we're here to suffer and learn. And we don't want to get out of the test. We want to embrace the test for what it is. Sure, we want to know more things and learn more things, but everything we know and learn is to do good. Like, we want to do good with it and keep balance and stuff. So the other thing that she said, Diana Polisco, whatever, she said that she's brought this up in all of her interviews, is like, better the devil you know. She talks about the dude who had like the book about angels, that French guy that worked for NASA or whatever, talks about UFOs, Project Paperclip or Blue Book. And he had all the books about angels, and he also has all these books about fallen angels. And he said, you can't have one without the other. And he also says a phrase, better the devil you know. Because Aleister Crowley made this observation, and all these ancient religions have, the devil is the god of your enemy. Now, that doesn't mean the devil is bad. That means you think the unknown is bad. You think the dark is bad because you don't know what's there. But better the devil you know. Because when you find out the devil ain't the bad guy that you thought he was, or you realize you are the devil, or the devil's in you, that this evilness that you don't understand, that you've projected on other people, is actually in you as well, life gets complicated.
True.
And the Rosicrucians talk about the mystical. Their framework is very like Milton. I forget the guy's first name, but Milton talks about like Paradise Lost or whatever. And they were already onto that shit, where it's a mystical life of Christ, where they go, Jesus is the snake from the garden. And that's where the light and dark become superimposed on each other. One is the other. They're both the same. God and the devil are agents. They're both on the same team. And what it is like, the snake is like, yo, this is a fucking illusion. You live under a devil, like a jealous God. And then they get kicked out of the garden. They're like, oh no, now we know of our own mortality. It's like, does that mean that Adam and Eve were never going to die? Or did it just mean that they found out that they were going to die? Were they never naked, or did they just find out that they were naked? You understand? So once...
It's wild, bro, because there's so much fucking like mythology that's crossed around with like what we, take for history. Let
me close it. Let me close just that part, that Jesus being a snake, the reason why Jesus would be a snake is he does the same thing in the New Testament that the snake did. He goes, you live under a jealous God, the Pharisees. He did the same thing that the snake did in the Old Testament. So what does that mean? Like, why is that such a parallel, isn't it? It's like a very interesting parallel. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you talking about like there's a lot of things that are cross-pollinated, these myths.
Yeah, so like... fuck, man, I completely forget. I'm sorry.
If we look at... I'll pick up, and then if you...
Yeah, I'm going to try and remember. It'll come to me here in a second.
If we look at like what AI does, we can see the same better the devil you know type shit, to where I explain this to people, and they kind of like... I don't know. Like, whenever you have to say which image is a traffic light and you have to select it, what's happening is there's two basically systems. One is adding noise to photos, and one is trying to recognize the photos, but they're both computers and they're fighting each other. And when the one that can't recognize a photo, or is supposed to recognize a photo, can't recognize it, then it asks us, the humans, to verify our identity and verify something they can't supposedly verify. At least until recent history, they weren't able to do it. So then we verify the image, and then we train the AI that's trying to do photo recognition. And so what happens is you have one thing that's trying to add noise, make things more destructive, and then when it can't figure it out, the human helps, and then so let's say the guy that's the side that's trying to destroy image integrity is evil. It's the devil. It's trying to destroy truth, destroy whatever. And then the one that's trying to recognize things for what they are is good. That's like God or whatever. And then we, much like Plato and everything, are trying to define what is, like, whenever the system kind of like has a problem, we come in and go, oh, it's actually this. But that's like the self-discovery. Like, this, what I'm saying is that the AI is doing the same thing. Our little matrix that we're building now is working the same way the world worked. This, where the good and evil are fighting each other to make reality more stable and expanding. Because the more you understand the roles of good and evil, the more reality will expand, or the more that they can build out. It's like we're sharpening steel against each other's sword. Like, we're fighting each other. Good and evil are fighting, but our swords aren't actually dulling. They're getting stronger.
True.
So once we make the nuke and mutual assured destruction happens, what happened? We ain't dropped nukes since.
This is very true.
So you see, isn't
yeah.
that weird? It's like the worse the thing got, in a lot of ways, the better things got, because the level of evil that we created forced a higher level of good to have to a higher level of peace.
Well, like, so what did you think of when she was talking about how, like, she met the guy who she refers to as Tyler, you know, and him taking her out to a site in New Mexico to look for bits and pieces from a crash from the 40s.
Yeah.
And them finding a few pieces that are obviously still there that were like a malleable metal, like she described as frog skin.
Metamaterial.
Metamaterials.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know, like who the fuck is that?
His name's John.
Well, no, well, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the materials.
Yeah.
Like, who made this? Like, what is that? Like, I mean, obviously it's like pieces from a fucking something, but like, who, you know, they were talking about like these are pieces that could potentially like only be made in zero gravity, you know, and it's just like, and they're layered upon layered piece, like atoms essentially, to put together this
that was
material.
one definition, and I do think I do think the definition of metamaterials is hard to define. I would have trouble. Like, I only know a little bit about it, but I've looked at like auditory materials that are for auditory shit. Metamaterials, like they were talking about a new type of sine wave, a 3-dimensional sine wave, where it's a spiral type thing, and they were making materials so it could resonate and basically expand the sine wave to not be. Because I always thought a sine wave wasn't like flat. I thought it was already a spiral, but apparently it's not a spiral.
Well, I would imagine in zero gravity that wave is a lot different than it is here on Earth, where you have the actual planet and its magnetism acting upon that, versus in zero gravity.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about sine waves and not electromagnetic.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like in the formation of materials in general. Like,
but this was audio. I was talking about like actual audio, so the sine wave of audio. So then that's coming down more to like the medium, like air or the molecule water.
Well, that's also like it could even be the same. Like so, it could even have an effect. Like when you're talking about layering atoms upon atoms, like even just the sine waves of just being on the surface of the planet and having like just the
what's a sine wave doing in a fucking vacuum? Like, what
probably
is
a lot
wave?
More stable and able to layer atoms upon atoms than it is here on a planet where you have the actual planet and its magnetism acting upon what you're doing.
What if you could do something that completely diverged time itself? So you're not chasing electrons even. You're not tracing, like, these electrons within, like, an exotic isotope you made. And, like, you could just go, put this here, like little Legos. Like, you kind of break out the simulation enough to like bring the materials into it like a bubble and go, whoa, just it's not even like zero gravity to where you're having weird things happen in zero gravity was like 0 times 0 gravity. Like you could get
you know, dude,
weird with
like it makes you wonder, bro, because like you know, like she talks about how like they would take experiments onto the space shuttle and shit, and like what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Or how's about like I don't know if you saw, I think it was this month, maybe even a week or so ago, they launched the SpaceX launched Falcon Heavy for NASA. With the was it like the X something fucking space plane, and like they wouldn't even show the fairing opening or the plane being released because it was all top secret.
I got some inside scoop on that.
What the fuck is that?
I got some
bro?
inside scoop on that.
Like what experiments does that thing have that they can't even show that thing flying out of the craft itself and just the opening of the fairing?
So check this out. I mean, somebody's gonna have to pull this up. This was years ago when I first got into. After I saw my UFO, for years I spent looking at like propulsion and shit. And the NASA website used to say like electromagnetic propulsion is sci-fi.
Well, dude,
Wait.
I've seen pictures of the craft.
I know. But
it's not. But it's general.
I know.
It's rocket propulsion.
I know that. Yes, I know. I'm aware. So, but what happens when they launched it? So that's why I'm trying to get a timeline. Like, so I'm giving context for what happened. So I'm looking at this shit, and I'm on NASA's website talking about electromagnetic propulsion and shit. And then it was still on their website saying it's like a sci-fi thing. I mean, somebody could probably do like a archive. Then on Friday, China comes out and says, we actually did some like electromagnetic propulsion where we had like this little thing, like a little engine, and it was inside of a container, and then the container moved. So it was able to move shit outside of the container it was in to then propel the entire thing forward, which was weird. On Monday, the next Monday, NASA comes out and is like, yeah, we know that motherfucker. Like, and in fact, our shit's twice as strong. Okay, now let's get to. That's what was happening with the propulsion side of things. At the same time, they had a guy somewhere in the fucking U.S. and he had tons of these like little antenna, and he was getting unencrypted information from Star Wars program. And people didn't know like if he was crazy or whatever, but it turned out to be true because the future validated him. And he was like, "Hey, we have a drone. We have like a drone that's titled X." And it's in orbit right now, and it's been up there for a year. And then you fast forward, this thing comes down, the little drone. It looks like a little baby space shuttle, basically.
Yeah.
And it comes down, and it was armed with a laser for laser testing, and it ended up being up there for like 500 days or 500 some change, that first run way back. And you know what had happened while it was up there that people had a lot of problems with? Like, what the fuck?
What's that?
China launched a satellite or had a satellite up there, and that satellite got shot down, and people thought it got shot down by a laser. And if you want to look before this launch, China was fucking around with satellites again.
Oh.
So
shit. You think this thing has a fucking weapon on it for shooting down spy satellites?
If it had a laser the first time, why wouldn't it have a laser the second time? A better laser. We're talking about a decade apart. And then the comparison is China's saying what they have a propulsion wise. I realize it's a separate thing, but I'm trying to illustrate this weird coded talk. When somebody puts something in media, understand the media doesn't exist to let you know the truth. Many times it's trying to send a signal to other people who understand at a depth or a level that you do not understand. But it's like the parents are arguing at the kitchen table, at the dinner table, and they're saying things that your young ears don't pick up on.
Right.
And so when they're talking about, I did this with this propulsion, and you go, I'll call your bluff. I did it twice as much. I'm willing to fucking get a little bit on the nose in front of the kids, see how they react to that. And then it's like, I launched a satellite. We're like, oh, your satellite fell down. I wonder why. Oh, we just took our shit down. And then we just launched 10 years later. We launched a satellite. Oh, we just launched this again.
What if, hear me out. So you're saying.
Oh, last piece of inside scoop on this. I had a conversation with a guy who works for NASA. I think he works in propulsion, liquid propulsion, nothing crazy. And I was like, bro, y'all got it. This was before they brought it down. I mean, I could probably find the date on this like later, like when I had this conversation. I was like, yo, y'all have this fucking drone up there right now. This guy's pulling shit from the Star Wars program. And he's like, no, everything NASA does is not top secret. Like, our shit's public. I was like, I know. Yeah, I went, I know that's what you say. But you also did this work with Lockheed. And anything Lockheed's on as a contractor, you can put it top secret because they're going to have a contract. Right. And that's how you guys are able to hide it. Went back and forth with him for like 3 minutes. And then finally he's like, yeah, you're right. It is up there. Like, it wasn't me that like, I aggravated. He smiled. He's like, no, you're right. I mean, there's another company on this.
So hear me out.
He admitted it. And then we knew it was true because it fucking came down.
Well, if you're saying that, like, it has the ability to shoot down a satellite, like, or it has a weapon capable of doing that, then, like...
That's what people...
It would have been a
assumed.
good time to deploy it because, especially right now when tensions are so high, even if you had, like other countries' hypersonic weapons, right? Those hypersonic weapons have to go into an atmospheric phase before they can actually go into, like I said, they have like a cruise phase in the atmosphere before they start to go down, and that's when they actually go into hypersonic speed.
Right.
So theoretically, if you had some type of fucking weaponized space plane that's orbiting the Earth, you could, because it's an actual airplane, you could, I mean, theoretically, because it's still in low Earth orbit or high Earth orbit, whatever one it is, like, it could adjust path, shoot down a weapon if it had to, theoretically. So that would make sense with the timing, especially since it's a new generation of it.
But that satellite, whatever satellite they're fucking with, probably has that ability too, and we're trying to take out their ability to stop something.
Well, no, I'm not like I'm talking about shooting down an actual weapon, like a weapons platform, like a hypersonic missile platform.
No, I hear you. I think their satellite has the ability to do what you're talking about.
Maybe.
And then we're shooting. We have one that's we probably have that too on satellites, but those are going to be geo-synced a lot of times. Like, they're not going to probably be able to just move wherever they need to be. So if we had a plane that can kind of change whatever at variable speed, we could go and create a lapse in their net.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we have what they have on satellites, but we're going to throw our guy up to take out one of their satellites for whatever reason. I'm trying to pull up an article.
And it's funny you should, like, you talked about how, like, the guy was like, yeah, NASA doesn't do anything that's fucking top secret. But, like, when I was listening to Weaponized the other day, like, they were talking about how, like, they were analyzing some of the NASA's, like, released photographs, especially some of the older ones from, like, the late 90s and shit, when they first were building the space station. You know, and they had cameras and shit or feeds and whatnot, and they were just like, yeah, so if you go now and you use like modern AI algorithms to analyze the old photos, it's like, these are clearly doctored photos, and they're like, there are whole sections that they've blacked out because, like, you know, they'd be like, oh, here's a live feed, and then all of a sudden something enters in the fucking camera, and all of a sudden it cuts the live feed, you know, or they'll release photos, but there's whole sections that are blacked out or replaced with, like, duplicate cloud images and whatnot, you know. It's just like, because it's covering something up, and it's just like, dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, you know, this is like one of the good things that modern AI is doing, but it's just like, dude, when you couple this with, it's just like, okay, you got fucking literal space planes with lasers, fucking satellites, NASA is doctoring photos of fucking images and shit, you know.
In August, China was like, yo, we made a gain on your weapon technology because our fucking cooling got so fucking good, our lasers are good, and then, like, January they launched a satellite, and then let's see, I want to pull up the date for when we launched that fucking
it was recent, dude. It was within the last few weeks. Because it was a SpaceX, it was the last Falcon Heavy launch. Look that up, because they only launch Falcon Heavy for heavy payloads, and the space plane was a heavy payload. It was a Falcon Heavy launch. It would have been like early January, I think, is when they launched it, because it kept getting delayed. It was supposed to launch like in December, I think, and it may even be December, but it was like early January, late December when they launched the space plane. And dude, like I said, they didn't even show any fucking videos of the fairing opening.
The X-37B plane.
Yeah, that's the one.
This happened December 29th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's right.
Something like that.
Late December.
Yeah. So we launched that shit, and then they launched their shit like a fucking couple days later. Like, dude, we're getting ready to. We're just. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that had been going on for like a fucking decade.
So, and the first one, like you said, it circulated for like 500 something days. So, like, that thing's gonna be up there for a hot minute. Dude. Just in the fucking ready, which is wild, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, dude.
When we talk about shit like, oh man, you like, we always joke like, or you'll joke like, bro, you better watch yourself talking about that. This is actually, these are the things almost everything we mentioned in the past 30 minutes is actually things that I go, yeah, that's actually problems that. This could cause problems. Like,
bro.
Yeah.
So broad scope. Hear me out.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
This is a comedy podcast.
This dude, it's turning into one quickly. If it wasn't already, it surely is. We are living in a time, bro, right now. Okay. Where, like, just what we've talked about today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Civil War 2.0, Big Mike versus the Cheeto, alien disclosure, multi-dimensional beings, nuclear weapons, space planes, and fucking lasers.
But can't you see the split in reality?
What a time to be alive, bro.
See, but this is what Plato was talking about when they were like, hey, look, what if we ran a society this way and we elected ourselves as like philosopher kings? And they're like, oh, by the way, we're just telling you how it's already run, the system that we're in. And just by the way, there's people above them that are like angels and fucking, and they're doing the same thing to the people who are doing it to us. It's like, okay, can you not see that we're about to reach the end of a certain type of control system that's run the way that we've always lived? And there are basically levels of interpretation of the events that are happening, different realities, entire realities. You could be caught up with a civil war and then be like, my guy's better than your guy, and my state's better than your state, my football team and your football team, Taylor Swift and that other guy. And it's like, and that's where you could fall into this, like, different strata of, like, this little thing. And then there's going to be people like,
dude,
hey, there's aliens running this right now. And we're literally we're going to stop crossing paths with the lower interpretation of reality. And then we become the Platos. We become the Socrates. And we never go, we could technically maybe somehow go higher later. I don't know how that would even work. But the fact is like, there is a complete, in fact, it's a stress response. The more real the crazy shit gets, the more the other people will look away. We've always said, oh, the government, there's been two things. The government won't disclose that aliens exist. Yo, like, there's been enough, or things like it. There's been enough evidence for a while.
Right.
And now people will take it seriously. And then
because New York Times posted it, or printed it. So
right.
So it's got to be real.
Oh,
now.
The institution.
Like, finally.
Oh wow, it's real because
acknowledged.
An institution said it, not because a witness said it, or like multiple witnesses and an emerging trend across all these witnesses. So it's like, yeah, I had a point to that where it was like, they've been saying this for a long time, but it's a stress. I think it's a stress response. So people have always said, like, there are two things. Why don't they disclose it? And the other thing is, if it was real, nobody could keep a secret. But they say that while people are leaking and defecting. So it's like someone could be looking you dead in the face and go, "This is what's real," and then you go, "If this was real, somebody would say something." It's a circular argument. And then the other one is, why wouldn't they disclose it? Because people would be scared. It's like, actually that kind of proves it, because there have been people that have been leaking this shit for
Right.
so long, and the stress response to the potentiality that it could be real kept you from ever, one, entertaining it, two, if it was real, you looked the other way and went go watch football,
Right.
the bread and circus. So it's like, and I'm not knocking that, like, whatever. I'm just saying that there's different levels of importance. There's different interpretations of reality. When I go see a movie, I know it's a movie. In fact, when I see a movie, I go, what does the director believe? What is the director trying to tell me?
I was about to say, because I know there's no fucking way you just look in a movie and you're just like, oh yeah, this is just a cool movie. You're definitely looking at it on another level.
Why? I watch a movie the same way I try to lucid dream. Why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me this? It's a reason. There's a reason why this is composed this way. There's color grading this way. There's shot this way. It's in this sequence. Why are you showing me this? What do you know? What are you trying to tell me? And then I go, oh, the director, this is his influences, and I go after his influences. But the point is like, you could lose the eye, you could lose frame, and you could go, football is what's real. Taylor Swift is what's real. Oh, you could lose frame like that. And then you could go, the Civil War. Now that's the highest level of reality. My guy versus your guy in an election. That's the highest form. Right. And Plato's like, motherfucker, they got people breeding us a certain way, and now we got to breed people a certain way, like, because we got to figure out what they're doing to us, like,
dude. So like you mentioned a key word, and I wanted to bring this up earlier, and I completely forgot to mention it. But since you brought it up, Taylor Swift. Have you heard what's going on with this, dude? Yeah. Bro. So like, I don't even know how the fuck I came across this the other day. Like, I might have been scrolling through Facebook or some shit, and I ran across something talking about how Taylor Swift fans were angry because like the Swifties, that they were angry because apparently someone made a fucking AI image dump of like Taylor Swift in some very inappropriate poses. Some of her were her getting like railed by Muppets and Sesame Street characters and shit, bro. Nice. Like, what the fuck? Like,
by nice, I mean horrible. That's not cool.
No. I mean, dude, like, it was definitely completely degrading, but at the same time, I was like, holy fuck, bro. Like, what world are we living? Because, dude, like, the shit totally looks real. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I totally watched fucking or looked at Taylor Swift getting railed by Cookie Monster or whatever it looked like it was, fucking Grouch. Like, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I was like, dude. But it was just funny because they were like, all the Swifties were banding together to go and like mass report all the Taylor Swift AI images.
This is how you know the simulation's resetting, because
dude, they found the guy supposedly who was like the originator, and I think they banned him. Or like he actually got charged with something. Like,
I'd be interested if he got charged, because I think that's fucking dumb.
Yeah. I don't know if he got charged with something, but like I remember like I saw something about how they narrowed it down to like the origination account. It was some fucking dude. I don't know if he was actually the one who prompted the AI to make Taylor Swift getting railed.
That's
images,
what happens.
But
if you're using a big service, then they can see that's probably what happened. That makes sense. But the thing is, it's going full circle. Look at it. So, like, blackmail has ruled our reality, like, for the longest time. Like, politicians and certain people will behave a certain way because there's blackmail. Right. And there's, like, real video of them doing fucked up shit or whatever. And then if you go back before like, Queen Victoria was the first, like, I think, person to have, like, photos taken of, like, powerful, and that there's a lot of speculation. That's why they call it Victoria's Secret, because she had like 20,000 photos taken of her. So the idea that there's no nude photos of an ugly fucking queen, and definitely, as we know, Prince Andrew didn't do freaky stuff at Epstein.
Yeah, no way.
And people who are not in touch with reality or consequences don't do kinky stuff, and certainly the first woman that had 20,000 fucking photos of her wouldn't have done shit. But before there could have been real photographic evidence, people drew porn all the time of monarchs, like, oh, that's them getting fucked by this and that and this and that. And now we've gone full circle where now images, we can't trust images anymore because we have AI that's generating things that are as real as the real photo. So then we're basically full circle back into we can't trust evidence. Like whatever you see on the internet, you can't trust. You can only trust what you feel. So people are going to be falling into the simulation like on this shit because they can't trust their senses interfacing with technology. And then as far as the legal thing goes, well, if it was legal even or whatever, maybe it wasn't legal, but it certainly is legal now to draw pornography. You know what I mean? So why would it be illegal to use AI to generate something? Like, what is the ethical? We can argue ethics all the time.
Right.
I would say it's not ethical to draw pornography, even satirical of people. But if you could do that, then why is it different if AI drew it? And then if AI drew it, what's the problem? Was it publishing it that was a problem? Okay.
Or was it just because it was way better than a human hand at drawing it?
And then fine. But why couldn't I generate the image and then pay a Filipino to fucking outsource it and pay some fucking digital assistant in the Philippines to draw it and fucking whatever, Photoshop or whatever. So then what difference does it make?
Right.
What difference does it make? So like legally, ethically, ethics is different than legal, but it all has to the rubber has to meet the road on law. So what's the fucking difference here?
Bro, it's just an interesting time to be alive,
definitely
dude. This is probably the most wild time. I mean, I'm sure
we have to check in on Guido because he's like the deepest. He's so deep on the AI rabbit hole that we need to pull him out and go, hey, what's it like in your version? What's happening in your timeline?
What is the normie timeline?
Guido, hey, Goomba, they're going to do an emergency test on the phone on the 21st at 4 p.m. Central. Oh, no, on Pacific. What time is that Central, Guido? I need to know so I can turn my phone off when that happens because they say it's going to drive everybody crazy. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, no, everybody on TikTok's talking about it. All right.
I love him.
No, I love him too.
I'm worried, bro.
I texted him right after that alarm went off, whenever that was. I was like, hey, you live? He's like, all good, Guido.
Bro, it's like I said, it's an interesting time to be alive, dude.
Yes, definitely.
We're living in such a fucking just clusterfuck of things, and it'll be miraculous if we pull ourselves out.
Is it possible though that it's always been this fucked up? Like it's always been this fucked up?
Yes, but not all the time.
Okay.
Dude,
as far as physical events, I don't mean this fucked up, but I mean as bad information and people living in a complete false reality. The only reason why we're able to see how false the reality is that there's so many competing false realities at the same time. So you're like, that's fucking dumb because that's dumb, and they both can't be true. And everybody's like, my reality can't be true and your reality be true, so we know something's a lie. But before, there was an equal and as absurd lie that we all believed. Generally, we were more monolithic in our belief or the spectrum of what could be possible.
Dude, we were better off before. Hear me out, bro. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's just the Facebook algorithm's been like catching me and shit, but like I've been catching a lot of these like they're 1990s and early 2000s like nostalgia Facebook channels, and they'll just play like a series of videos or images of like things from the fucking 90s and 2000s, like people's home videos and like product like things and stuff, and it's just like, dude, and it really like it makes you remember a lot of things, and you're just like, dude, things were so much fucking better then, man. Like, I don't know where it is exactly that we diverged. It was probably somewhere on social media, us talking to each other a lot. But like
texting,
bro, things were better.
Yeah,
things were way better back then.
Yeah, you know where your friends are at because they left their bikes in front of that friend's house.
Fuck
You
yeah,
didn't have
bro.
to fucking text them.
You didn't even
You didn't have to
'cause
see
you
their
knew.
Insta story.
You would ride your bike over there and you're just like, oh, there's my boy's bike. I'm
You
gonna go
didn't talk
knock on
about
the
what you
door.
ate as much. You didn't have photos of fucking food.
Bro, you go fucking knock on the door and then like his mom answers the door, you know.
She's kind of hot, and there's a joke about it later.
Fuck yeah. And then and you know, she's just like, "Oh yeah, he's in his bedroom. You want a fucking high C?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, I want to high see them titties, and then you walk in, and then you play quarters and give each other bloody knuckles.
For real, bro. Like you'd go in there and then you'd go play like Star Fox 64 and then you'd go home and jerk off.
Yeah. Dude, how can you be I'd be gay too if my mom was that hot.
Just like your fucking or your friend's sister or some shit.
Yeah,
You'd be
yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, what is this? You know, and then you realize later on, you're just like, oh yeah, that's right, she's fucking hot. That's why. You know, but like, yeah, bro, it's just
Dude, your mom makes me feel like I have to pee. You ever notice that your mom makes you us feel like we all have to pee?
That's just hilarious. Oh
Damn.
my god, bro. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is going too far.
Yes. It's about that time.
Yeah. All right, Pablo verse. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Adios, amigos.
Peace.